His name is Jared Nally. He's a recent graduate of Haskell Indian Nations University. He also served as editor-in-chief of the Indian Leader, Haskell's award-winning student newspaper.
I turned to the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education when our former university president threatened my academic future if I were to continue my work as a student journalist. As a student writer, sometimes the work that I cover is critical of our university, and that drew the attention of our administration. And in October, I received a directive that forbade regular acts of journalism to silence the coverage I was doing. The lowest moment for me was receiving that directive and realizing that my academic future was at stake for just being a student journalist and trying to keep students informed. FIRE had reached out to me after critical coverage of a student rights case on our campus. And when I saw the advocacy work they did for that student, they were the first people to turn to when my student rights were in jeopardy. FIRE's been with me through a whole year of turmoil in resolving student rights for myself and our student publication. They've done advocacy work at the beginning, drafting letters to outline the complaints and to move the university to action. That hasn't always been the full resolution, and we've had to move forward with a lawsuit to secure protections of making sure those rights aren't violated in the future for other students at our university. So the public pressure that FIRE was putting on our university, and specifically President Graham, it caused our faculty to have to reevaluate his ability to serve our institution. The Faculty Senate vote of no confidence really brought to light some of the shortcomings of both student rights and his ability to serve our institution. An internal investigation resulted in his termination. Although President Graham was terminated in his capacity as the president, just his termination didn't restore rights, and that's why we're continuing to fight for policy to ensure students have maintained rights in the future. I think from the very beginning, the work FIRE did was super important in me getting to a place where I could advocate for not just my rights in the moment, but looking towards the future of what bringing this case would do for future students. When you have somebody in authority that's telling you you're in the wrong, it really kind of gaslights you into thinking that maybe they're right. And I think it really takes that external perspective and that knowledge base that FIRE comes to these sort of cases with, in letting you know that these are protected rights and that these are things to fight for, and that the work that you do to continue to push back on this is going to affect the lives of other students. I want to tell students in similar positions to reach out. These instances happen when your voices are trying to be silenced, and if you go quiet, that means they win. And it's important to rally kind of that community about these issues.
In February, the court ordered Haskell to adopt sweeping reforms to protect student rights and the editorial independence of the Indian Leader. The order states that the university can't punish students for routine journalistic practices like it punished Jared, and the university must give the Indian Leader insight into its funding. This will ensure that the student newspaper can independently verify that it is not being shortchanged funds if administrators do not like what the paper has to say.
I couldn't have gotten where we are today without FIRE being behind my voice. I think FIRE is aptly named because it's there to make sure your spark doesn't go out.